They say the richest people in the world don't predict the future. They prepare for it long before anyone else even senses a change. And right now they're preparing for something big, something they can see, but you don't. If you've been paying attention, you've probably noticed it. A strange pattern, a quiet shift, a silent warning. Billionaires, people who built empires, controlled industries, and held onto assets for decades, are suddenly selling. Not a little, not slowly, but massively, aggressively, and all at the same time. Why? What do they know? What signals are they reading? And more importantly, why isn't the world talking about it? Because every time the wealthy move like this, history tells us one thing: something is coming. But most people will realize it too late. Think about the past. Before every major financial crash, the pattern was the same. In the late 90s, before the dot-com bubble burst, tech insiders sold quietly. In 2007, before the housing market collapse, Wall Street firms cashed out while the public was still buying. In early 2020, before the world shut down, powerful people were already dumping stocks behind closed doors. Today, that same pattern is happening again. Except this time, the scale is even larger. But here's the truth: billionaires don't sell because they're scared. They sell because they're repositioning. They don't react to chaos. They move before it even begins. They watch everything: consumer debt, corporate earnings, interest rate cycles, global tensions, resource shortages, real estate stress, AI disruptions, and the psychology of the market. And when these signals line up, they move. Even when the headlines say everything is fine, even when markets look stable, even when the public believes nothing is wrong, because the public only sees the surface. The wealthy see the cracks beneath it. Today the cracks are louder than ever. Inflation is cooling, but not really cooling. Debt is rising, faster than wages. Interest rates are squeezing businesses and families. Housing affordability is collapsing in real time. Banks are tightening lending behind the scenes, and global conflicts are growing stronger, not weaker. For the wealthy, these aren't random events. They're signals of a world shifting into a new economic era. They know the system is stretched thin. They know markets can't rise forever. They know the middle class is under pressure. They know the illusion of stability never lasts. So they do what they always do: they protect what they have and prepare for what's coming. This doesn't mean they're abandoning the system. Far from it. They're simply exiting the parts of the system that no longer benefit them. They're selling the old world to buy into the new one. Look closely and you'll see the pattern. They are selling overvalued tech stocks, selling commercial real estate, selling risky assets, selling inflated companies with slowing growth, selling consumer-driven businesses that depend on cheap credit. And while they sell publicly, they're buying quietly. They're moving into AI infrastructure, defense technology, energy and minerals, water rights, private companies, essential services, automation, data networks, cybersecurity, and industries that will shape the next 20 years. The rich aren't betting on the collapse of the world. They're betting on the transition of it. The last time we saw a shift like this was before the dot-com revolution, and before the rise of smartphones, and before digital currencies, and before AI reshaped entire industries. Each time, the world wrote it off as panic selling. Each time, the wealthy quietly accumulated the next big wave. And each time, the ones who paid attention changed their lives forever. Now, we're entering that moment again. You can feel it, a pressure building in the global system, a tension in the economy, a shift that isn't loud, but undeniable. Most people are focused on survival. The rich are focused on strategy. Most people follow emotions. The wealthy follow patterns. Most people wait for the news. The wealthy move before the news breaks. Because they understand something deeply. Money isn't emotional. Money follows signals. Money moves before people do. And right now, the movement is clear. The rich are repositioning, preparing, adjusting, anticipating the next chapter. The average person looks at the stock market and thinks everything is fine. But billionaires see a bubble stretched at the edges. The average person sees expensive housing and thinks it might go higher. But billionaires see a system pushing past its limit. The average person sees inflation dropping on paper. But billionaires see the long-term consequences that haven't even begun. The average person trusts the headlines. Billionaires trust the numbers. They know the world is entering a new economic cycle, a cycle that will reward those who prepare and punish those who wait. They're not predicting a crash. They're preparing for a shift toward new industries, new technologies, new global powers, new financial structures. And when that shift fully arrives, the world will look back and say, the signs were there, we just didn't pay attention. But you're here, you're watching, you're listening, you're awake to the pattern, and that already puts you far ahead of most people. The wealthy don't have special powers. They simply act earlier, faster, smarter. And now that you see the signs, you can act before the world wakes up. Because the truth is simple. Billionaires aren't selling because they're afraid of the future. They're selling because they're preparing to own it. They see what you don't, not because you can't see it, but because no one ever taught you to look. You're looking now, and that changes everything.